All right. Well, good afternoon still. Um, so the weather's actually pretty decent today. I don't even really have to wear a jacket. That's always nice, even though it is, technically January in Canada. Uh, yeah, just nice sunny day. Anyways, I just finished a 5-day water fast. That was pretty interesting experience. Um, Definitely feeling very clear-headed, which is nice still. And yeah, first 2 days were tough, but after that, still, it got pretty good. So yeah, I think that's something that yeah, if you've never tried fasting before, still, it's definitely something interesting to maybe have a go at. Um, yeah, pretty excited these days. Still, projects are moving along pretty good. We've got a new sort of research project. Now, I've talked before in some of my previous videos about AI research, and um, I've got a few sort of different things on the go there. But the one I want to talk about today is this one that we've put together called Elusive AI. And basically, this is a decentralized AI research protocol. And the point of it is basically to change the way that research is done. Now, just a quick recap, because this is something I've gone over before, but yeah, the way that research is typically done these days is that funding goes into academia, and they're pretty specific about what gets funding and what doesn't, and what questions and trains of what train of thought gets pursued, and what line of questioning gets followed, and things like that. And yeah, I think that it's a high time to change some of that still. So one of the cool things about a lot of the AI tools that have come out now is that in my opinion, it enables people to become like a citizen researcher or a citizen scientist, kind of in a similar way that social media has enabled citizen journalism, for example, right? So it's like a dissemination of the tools to empower people still, right? So the idea behind the protocol is basically is to collaborate and to build a knowledge base out of everyone's research, and then also provide incentive models and a structure for it. So, as well as sort of decentralized protocols for storing the knowledge base and things like that. I don't want to get too into the hairy details still, but yeah, it's an area that I'm quite passionate about because it kind of combines three things that I've been doing for a long time, which is independent research, AI and software, and blockchaining, and decentralized systems, right? So, and I guess maybe software kind of covers two of those still. I don't know. It combines all the things for me anyway still. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. So we're moving forward with that, and that is going to borrow a lot of ideas that I've had from a previous concept called R&D pool, where it was about getting a pool of experts to do validations for AI powered research. So mind you, that idea was not tied into blockchain or decentralization. It was just sort of a normal sort of SaaS idea, with the network of collaborators. So yeah, we'll be borrowing some of that, and then the same sort of three pillars of doing the research and validation steps, and then integrating the research into the knowledge base. And then eventually we'll get into the third pillar, which is to integrate the knowledge base into educational material. So so yeah, that's one of the main things we've got going on. And besides that, I've also been working on a version 4 of an AI backend that I started 3 years ago called Benjen. So it's gone through a few iterations still, and basically, yeah, let's see. So if I go back to the first version of it, or the first 3 versions really still, it was more centered around the idea of a self modifying front end and back end. Mind you, the main thing has always been about automation for the AI, right? So to actually automate AI, have it run through sort of like job queues, chain one task to the next, passing context and things like that. So I started that 3 years ago, sort of right when the new GPT-3 upgrades came out and things started getting good when it came to LLMs. And then, I went through some iterations there trying to come up with, because I think the trick there was that it was very integrated with a UI at that point still. And I wanted, it had this modular architecture where each module had its own UI and its own purpose and what like that. So what I've done since then is I've actually split it off so that the Benjen is now mainly focused on the back end. So it's like the task queue, the integration with different models, the RAG integration, the vector database, support for making tool calling work, a few different like sort of key pieces of reusable infrastructure. And then the apps that are built on top of that, they focus on the UI and they're leveraging that engine still. Because basically I got to a point where I was building 3-4 different AI powered apps, and there was a lot of basically like code I was repeating, right? And there was nothing out there that was specifically what I wanted. There was lots of things that would do maybe 60% of it, but then they would also have a lot of bloat, right? And I don't particularly like bloat. I don't like using sort of open source software that does too much and does everything for everyone. Because it's not easy for me to modify or to keep going with it, right? So, and usually it's also, I have to make compromises on stack. So in this case, I don't have to do that, right? It's the exact stack that I want. It does exactly the things that I want, and it works exactly perfectly with the apps that I'm building. So this is cool because this engine will help do with my AI video apps. It'll help with AI research. It'll help with my AI, I don't want to call it an assistant, but it's like kind of like it's like a Jarvis type of thing still, where it kind of like, it's your personal sort of manager. It's pretty cool. I'll show it to you guys another day. And then the one that manages on my websites and the sort of the material, the social content that goes along with those still. So there's at least 4 different apps that I can integrate that into, and I've made the engine open source as well too. So I'll drop a link in the description if you want to check it out. And I'll just also drop some links to the Elusive project if you want to take a look at that. And I'd love to hear your feedback or comments on that still. So hope this finds y'all well, and we'll see you in the next one.